Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Can you just tell me in the chat if you can hear me okay? Hopefully you can. Add some music. Alright. I figured out why. I had the nightlight on my monitor. Like it tinted the monitor so it doesn't hurt my eyes, and that's why it looks like, so I glowed red in all my videos. So I have to put the glasses on today because I will hurt my eyes if I don't have that red thing on. Alright, what's up? Nice to see everyone. We're gonna go over the usual Bitcoin, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then we'll be going over. Then I'll take like requests more or less. So let's just go over the Bitcoin chart. So last night I think I posted in the Discord. I was on the 15-minute time frame, and I came over to here, and I was like, "This is where I'm gonna short. I'm gonna short." Well, I was on the USDT chart, but it's essentially the same. I'll just stick to the USDT chart because we have I have this marked out. But in the Discord, I essentially said where I was gonna short. I was like, I kind of hinted at it, and then I just afterwards I was like, I shorted. But because I don't want to like give explicit signals, but I was like, I'm gonna short this level right here. Why did I short that level? One because we had this swing failure pattern right here, and what did we say yesterday on the stream? When we have this swing failure pattern, we had it on the higher term time frames. We looked at it on the 30-minute time frame. I said yesterday that the first take profit level is going to be the 618 from the swing profit level, from this low to this high, right? So we should take, if you shorted this swing failure pattern, should have taken at least one take profit there, and said the lows, and you retested lows right here, so you should have taken some profit there. We then had this fair value gap within this zone that we came up to and rejected, and I said I'm going to be shorting this level here simply because I know that for a long time we still have to fill this large fair value gap. We've been talking about this for a while. Unfortunately, the market's just been moving slowly, but we have to fill this fair value gap down here and retest this Fibonacci level, and then we can look for long. So I'm going to be just more aggressive on shorts until we do that. So I shorted this level. Haven't honestly taken any profits just yet. I think I'm going to at least wait until we get deeper into this fair value gap to look to take profits, and we can look at more specific targets today. But yeah, that's essentially what happened. At least finally we're breaking down into it. It's just been, a long accumulation. Maybe we can just get some, we could treat this as like a mini range, right? We can take, this is your swing high, and then you just, till we broke out of it. So if you're going to treat this as a mini range, let's just take some, actually let's just go back and we can talk about like what indicators we can use to like show what's going to happen next. So for example, I don't think we did this yesterday on stream, and that's probably just my fault, but I did notice it afterwards. We're going to take this as a mini range, and we came up and we had a swing failure pattern to the high. Once again, we're going to do this thing with the volume profile, and we're going to see where they're trapped shorts, where they're trapped longs. And we see that the point of control is heavily skewed to the upside, right? It's heavily skewed towards the value area high. It means it's most likely trapped longs at the top, right? We're just trying to break out, trying to break out of this range. So we swing failure pattern the highs. There's trapped longs at the top, which, is the whole point of a swing failure pattern, more or less. So what do we indicate? We think we're going to go to the downside, and that's exactly what we do. We broke down to the downside, retested the low, and that's why I was more aggressive on this short, right? I saw that value, I saw this volume profile, and that's why, to me, how was it? Yeah, there you go. I saw this volume profile before the breakdown, and to me, that's why I was going to be more aggressive on this short, along with the higher term time frame targets. Just at this shorter range, We just have these trapped longs at this top, and coming down to the range lows just isn't sufficient enough to use that liquidity. Like they're trapping the longs for a purpose, and the purpose is that to break out of this range and get enough liquidity to come down into the zone. So that was my thought process on taking that short, and why I was more or less just preset on that level, rather than just like seeing the reaction. I was just like, this is where I'm going to short, this is where I think it's going to top out. I apologize for the phone call. I don't know who that is, but I guess if it's important, they'll leave me a voicemail. All right, so now let's look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, which we've been looking at for quite some time. And see, once again, we're just floating around the 786 Fibonacci level. We are still have this fair value gap. I believe this is from the 1 hour, 1 hour time frame that we've been talking about. And we're just retesting this range low right here. We could take a volume profile, maybe see if there are any trap longs, trap shorts within this mini range to give us more of a bias. And nope, it looks pretty much equal. It's a little skewed to the value area high, but once again, we're looking for heavily skewed. We're not looking for it slightly skewed. We're looking for heavily skewed to either value area high or value area low, or just a very skewed value area in general. But this is actually pretty evenly distributed, so there's not much of a bias there. We did break out of the value area low, as you just saw. So holding this as resistance, unless we get back above it, I still think we're going to come back down and to fill this fair value gap before anything else. Once again, it's the same thing on repeat, unfortunately, about with these major coins, just because the market's been moving so slowly. So hopefully, you're still getting some value out of this. But let me just go over Ethereum. I apologize for all the noise in the background. It's a bit of a hectic day. Ethereum, same thing once again. I expect a breakdown into this fair value gap. It is holding up better than Bitcoin, which once again is why the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation is holding up better than Bitcoin. Been saying this for a while. That Ethereum actually looks decently, like at least short-term time frame market structure. Macro looks terrible, but short-term time frame market structure, it actually looks fairly good. So we had the 618 of this big move at this bottom of the fair value gap. We had the 1618 of this little range breakout. And we have this fair value gap. So just waiting for that to occur. If we want to trade this as a mini range, we can do that as so. And we just want to see. Okay, yeah. So you can see, I apologize once again for my dog. If you can even hear her, I don't know if the mic picks her up, but she's pretty loud. You can see once again, Ethereum has actually been doing a very good job at filling the fair value gaps within this mini range. You see right here, there's a fair value gap between this wick and this wick, came back down, took all that liquidity, then pumped back up to the range highs, swing failure pattern, came back down to the value area low, point of control, value area low, broke below it. So maybe we'll get a retest back above it, or we'll just fill this little gap. The way the trads are looking, we're probably just going to fill this little gap and continue the downside. And then finally retest these range lows, and then assuming they don't hold, then I'm going to be looking for down here. You can probably see my alert set right there. That's why it gets triggered. I don't have to watch a chart for 24/7. It just gets triggered. I get a notification on my phone. I look at it. It's like, okay, this is holding. Let's take some profit on some shorts. Not that I'm in a short. And maybe look for some longs. And we can see if any divergences are building up. Let's actually check divergences just in case. Yeah, there's not much. There's no divergences. So that's my game plan for the major coins. We can look at SPX real quick, just to look at the trads. Legacy markets, how they're holding up. I've been talking about the bearish divergence for quite some time. Hasn't been playing out just yet. I think it was on the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hour, built a little bearish divergence. Still slow. I mean, at least you're getting a slight pullback today. So I guess it's starting to play out, but yeah, we aren't pulling back hard just yet. It is Thursday, so maybe on the Friday, you know. Friday's usually a bit of a crazy day, so hopefully we'll just get it pulled back tomorrow, and that will bring everything down, balance out the whole markets. I'm not looking for a major capitulation or anything like that. I just want to see the market balance out, fill those fair value gaps, and then we can take it from there and see if the trend continues upward. Yeah, it's not like, I don't think a major move's going to really happen within the next few days, quite honestly. I really think it's going to be mostly in September. We do have unemployment data coming out tomorrow. I believe it's hold on. What is it tomorrow? Non-farm payrolls. Yeah, so tomorrow 8:30 we have some employment data coming out. Maybe that'll move the market, and the way things are looking with the job market and everything, we're probably going to move to the downside. So that's in confluence with everything else. I think it's now time to take any requests that you guys have. Any coins you want me to look at? If you don't have any coins you want me to look at, then I will just look at the big movers of the day. But I really enjoyed yesterday's stream. Thank you all for coming to that, because that I really enjoyed the participation and everything like that. And hopefully the breakdowns of the coins you were all looking at I could help. Bro, please check on short-term time frame OP. No problem. Oh yeah, OP. Yeah. So yesterday during the stream, what were you saying? I was not on this. I was on Binance chart because that has all data. What was I saying? I was saying that assuming you break out of the 786, the next thing you're gonna go to is 220, and that's exactly what we did. We're into the range highs. Just treat this as a really, really big macro range. Swing low, swing high, swing low, retest the low, and you know, break through all your Fibonacci levels. Hold this 618 as support. You're testing your range highs again. Nothing too bad. You want shorter time frames? We can do that right now. So what's the biggest thing I want to look for in shorter time frames in respect to higher term time frames is market structure changing on shorter term time frames, right? So if I want to, like, this is how I go about using short term time frames to trade larger term time frames, like for entries. So if I'm looking at the daily chart, but I don't want to like wait for a daily confirmation, because a daily confirmation can be let's see, the percent wise 18%. So I could just lose out on 18% just waiting for the daily candle to close. So my strategy, at least, is let's have our daily level set and let's wait for shorter time frame market structure to flip, and then I can enter that position. So if I'm going to look for a short at 220 based on the daily chart, I'm going to wait for, instead of waiting for daily confirmation, I'm just going to wait for something like the 50-minute time frame market structure to flip, and then I can take some short positions. So let's go over that. We set this low to make this new high. So this is going to be a market structure line right here, and we see that we broke below it. So we flipped market structure. We're now in a downtrend to the downside. You can see where we're bouncing is actually this fair value gap on the 50-minute chart, which is quite nice. Filled it almost to the T. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. This wick to this wick. Just get it neater. There you go. There's your fair value gap. Filled it to the T. Bouncing out of that, as expected. So where do we really expect this to retrace to? We already kind of tested this as resistance. Coming back up to test this as resistance again, I might take some shorts just based off of that. But a retracement back up into this zone, up into the 618, up into this little cluster right here is also to be expected at $2.08. So I think if assuming we reject this, especially if we reject it with divergences, shorts should be okay. But if we break above this, then my next target will be $2.08 for a look for a rejection. And then hopefully that could be a nice swing position. You can hold it for a few days. This is a fairly new coin, so just be wary of that. If we do start to make new all-time highs, you know, like not just on a wick basis, but if we continue the trend to the upside, it's going to be there's not going to be a lot of orders in the book, so you're just gonna it's going to be fairly quick. If you want like targets above that, I mean, I guess maybe the 618, so a 50% move. If it breaks out, I don't really have an opinion if it does or not, because it's so new. Excuse me. But you know, you're looking at $3.30. But beyond that, yeah, that's about it. Do we have any divergences forming? I think we actually do have bullish divergence. Yep. Made a lower low. And on the RSI, we made a higher high. Higher low, sorry, I apologize. So we did form some divergence coming into the fair value gap, so that's good to confluence right there. But nothing too crazy. Okay, bro, I'm stuck at upper levels. I don't know what that particularly means. You're stuck at upper levels? I don't know. Any other coins you want me to look at? What time frame? Wing? Sure, I can do a wing. I've never heard of that coin. So let's do higher term time frame analysis, and then we can come down to. I've never heard of the. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me just. Yeah, okay. So we set this range high, set this range low, and that's how we're gonna treat this coin. Jesus Christ, that's what is that? Like 100%? Probably more. Jesus Christ. 900% move. Hopefully you're not trading this thing on leverage, my dude. This is way too volatile, at least for me. I mean, you do you, but 900 without leverage. So we can take our fibs from the bottom to the top. I mean, with things like these coins, like, yeah, fib levels will probably hold. Alright, so you rejected off both the 618 and the 786 on the same day. 50% moves. That's just a wick. We've been contained within this zone. So once again, let's just take a look at the volume profile, because this is actually a fairly good example. Our point of control, let me just get rid of the fib so we can see it clear, and it's probably why this huge move happened to the upside, plus just a low liquidity coin. Our point of control is close to the value area low compared to the value area higher. It's pretty significant. If I like draw this little line, make it straight, you know, that's pretty significant. That's like 2 deviations away. So it's fairly significant. Yeah, you get the idea. It's fairly significant. So what does that indicate? There's trap shorts. And what happened? We tested the value area low. All right. Once again, these coins are a bit, especially something like this, is, you know, you just have to treat the value area low, point of control, everything like that with a grain of salt. But we tested the value area low, trapped some shorts at the bottom, came back up, held the point of control support, then all these trap shorts got murdered, right? Unless, I mean, I don't even know how you can survive a 700% move if you're short from here, but yeah, all the shorts got murdered on this gigantic move up. Now you're back under the value area high. This actually had a nice retest of the value area high right there, so that would have been a good short position. You've been up 34% or something like that already without leverage. And now, what are you looking for? Do I think this is you're changing trend on this coin? No, to be completely honest with you. A move like this on these types of coins, I usually just see as a trap. Not like just a liquidity grab, and then you just continue to the downside. I mean, You could fill this fair value gap. You might get a bounce in there, but really just a retest of this point of control. And you're probably just going to break down to the downside. I don't even know what this thing looks macro-wise. Yeah, like trash. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and then you're probably just going to break down to the downside. This isn't a good chart. I wouldn't trade this on leverage, to be completely honest with you. Unless you're using like 2, 3x, even then, it's like, do you really want to get caught up in these wicks? But it's a good example, so thank you for bringing it up, of like how to trade these types of gargantuan moves, or how to at least understand them, even if you don't want to like trade them. Just understand that we can look at the volume profile, get a bias. Okay, this thing shoots up to the upside. Is that really a breakout? Probably not. We'll check in. I'll make a note to check in on this on a few days, just so it's not on leverage. Okay, great, good. Just so we can like see if it actually did break down. Only on spot, thank God. Well, that's interesting then that move happened. I guess there's no lot of like actual short positions. I don't know. This thing has to have contracts somewhere if it's moving like that. That's not the same coin. This thing has to have futures somewhere. It's having a 900% move. Unless there's some other news, but even then, that's just a trap. Any other coins? List your coins in the chat. Any coins? We're gonna try to do our stream today, so the more you list, the more we can talk about. Alright, so I guess I'm gonna be looking at stuff I want to look at. Let's take a look at Sol. Don't be like you just say whatever coin you like. Alright. So, did this happen yesterday? Yeah, I guess this happened yesterday. Excuse me. It broke down to this fair value gap after it got hacked. After it got hacked, came into this fair value gap, bounced, and what'd we retest? I don't know if this happened yesterday on the stream. I don't think that. I think this actually happened after, but we broke market structure right there, right? We broke through the market structure, so your previous support now becomes resistance, and we retest the resistance, continue to the downside. Nothing too unpredictable there, hopefully. We can look at shorter time frames to see if we have any bullish divergences or anything along those lines. No, nothing just yet. But yeah, we're just retesting this. You might get short bounce and like really short-term time frames. But continuing downside just seems like the play here. We're back below the point of control on the daily. Let's just make sure. Yep, back below the point of control daily. So I would see this as more or less as like a resistance, like a retest of this resistance. So the next target will be just this range low right here at 34,635, and then just really if we were to break down after this, a retest of the value area low. Yeah, you can see how we're heavily skewed to the upside with the volume profile. So coming down the value area low will probably at least pump out some shorts. Hey, just joined. So recap of BTC. Yeah, of course I can do a BTC. Curious if it's filled fair value gap. It did not fill the fair value. Oh, maybe it did by the time. I don't know. Did we saw like majorly dumping? All right, quick recap for Bitcoin. You can always rewind the video, by the way, and these things get posted on video. If you ever like miss it, I've missed it, but I will quickly do a recap. A recap of Bitcoin. Finally broke below the range lows. Now coming to this fair value gap. Still looking for it to come down to like 21,650, roughly that level. I was going with short-term time frames. I did take a short right here, and I put that in the Discord last night. That right here short, and I shorted right there. The reasoning because, one, I still know that they would want to come down and fill this fair value gap eventually. They had bearish divergences on the SPX, so I'm just expecting a slight pullback in traditional markets as well, which will bring Bitcoin down. And then also, when I took my volume profile and treated this as a little range, right to here. So I just want to see what the volume profile looked before the drop. You can see that a lot of longs entered the market. You know, coming back to like right around here, or even, sorry, apologize, right at the swing failure pattern, we see that the volume profile still skewed to the downside. So you had some more volume around here, but then something changed between the swing failure pattern and coming up to this right here, this range high. A lot of longs entered the market at the top. That's not what you really want to see. At least I don't want to see how I trade. To me, that indicates a lot of trapped longs, especially when you already printed a swing failure pattern. So between the swing failure pattern and kind of like the retest of this high right here, a lot of longs entered the market. And you don't really want to see that. At least I don't want to see that. So I was like, all right, you're gonna come down like we were expecting. 618, take profit on short if you shorted up here. I didn't short up there, honestly. I just missed it. Retest the range lows, take some profit off your shorts. Okay, but you're still heavily skewed to the upside of the volume profile, and you still have this fair value gap to the downside. So where are you going to look? And coming down to small time frames on 50-minute, you had this small fair value gap right here. So I'm just saying you're going to fill this gap. Didn't fill it like to the T. I was a few like $100 off, I think, percentage-wise. 0.25%, or not even that. 0.1%. Took a short at that level, and then just haven't even really taken profit yet. I'll see how this session closes out and then evaluate it from there, but that's all that was. Explain this in Fortnite terms. I can explain it in Fortnite terms. Any other coins you guys want me to look at? Put them in the chat. Put them in the chat. Adam. I'll look at Adam. Stellar. Let's see the Bybit chart. Alright. These random fibbles. Actually, let's go over the Binance chart. Maybe that has previous. There you go. Alright. So let's take a look at Adam. Let's actually just take our fib levels from this. We can treat this almost as a macro range, and we can sort of play around with this one. This looks like a decent coin. So cool, wonderful. We're actually at the 786 of this huge move from the COVID dump all the way up to this all-time highs. And we're just hold as support. Once again, these low liquidity coins are just like not as popular coins, whatever. You just have to be wary of. You're not going to hold these levels exactly. You just have to wait for a follow through candle. Support, flip to resistance, support, resistance. So this just looks like it's continuing to the downside, quite honestly. We can take our volume profiles from COVID dump to there, and you can see that we're coming down to the point of control. We kind of sort of tested it. So just a retest of this point of control all the way down here at $5 to $5.20 roughly. seems to be like the most likely probable play. We actually have, this is like, I just want to look at this macro and then we can do, like, we'll just do like a full TA on this. We have this low volume node all the way up here, which is quite interesting. So maybe during the next market run, we can come up into this level. I don't have, I guess I just have to type this out. We'll just save it at LVN. We have this low volume node in the at the volume profile right here. And you can see that's also fairly good support level. This, so just for future's sake. But what are we also going to notice with this volume profile, right, that we've been talking about? Once again, heavily skewed to the downside. So this macro-wise, of course, we're talking from 2020 to now, so over 2 years. So think about this in like another 2 years. There's a lot of trap selling at the bottom, right? There's a lot of accumulation at the bottom. So you probably are going to see a retest of this point of control. Assuming this point of control holds, I don't see a reason why this can't come up to this low value node at $16 or $17. Of course, if you break below this point of control, you come back down to retest this value very low. But that's a macro term time frame. Now we can look at shorter term time frame. And let's go over to the 1 hour and see if we can. Oh, this looks like trash. See a lot of BART patterns going on. I think someone's like the BART head, like, and then you just drop it down. But you are in a range. Did we start earlier in this range? No, let's just take this as our 1 hour range. We can try to get some levels based off of that. Take this as our swing high, swing low. I wouldn't even consider this swing. I'll just move this over here, honestly, just because you didn't never close below it. So that's your swing high. That was a swing pattern. Came down to retest this, to form a swing low. Came out to your value or high, reject out the value or high, played around to point control. Let's get rid of this macro level. I'm also playing around with the macro level I just showed you. So held the value area low. Once again, these coins, you have to have a follow through candle. Just because you closed through it once doesn't mean anything. You have to have a follow through candle. Didn't get a follow through candle, so closed right back above it. Now coming back up to your point of control. So I think you're probably going to retest this point of control before anything else at 1076. There's no real market structure to define any of this. So this is just purely like choppy range. So you really want to like focus on your volume profile with these types of situations, is what I found. Coming to really low turn time frames. Yeah, I think coming back to retest this level and if we reject off of it, you see we already got a rejection off the 50-minute right here, this crazy wick, but coming back to this level at 1079, 1080, catching some shorts up there would probably be the best interest. Good afternoon, got imbalance. Any other coins you guys want me to look at? With situations like these, you really you're essentially just trading value area low to point control to value area high, point control value, like you're just bouncing in between all these, and then if you do break out, then you're coming back down to your range lows. If you want to bias, then you look at the skew of the volume profile. That's the only way to really form biases in short-term time frame ranges. Any other coins today, guys? Anything at all? All right. So if that's the case, I'm going to wish you all a great day. Link to our Discord is in the description below. Come join. There's a lot of great traders in there to talk to. Completely free. Just come talk to us. We trade. We hang out. So if you want to learn more about it, links in the description below. You can always leave if you don't like it, of course. Also, if you want to trade on Bybit, that's a leverage trading platform. I just tried my new method, counter trade. Notifications got one back because I'm going down such and such. Binance, I'm long, no idea what the chart looks like. We can do XLM. I hate the fact that the chat is so delayed. Looking interesting. Yeah, this imbalance right here. So did you get your notification once it filled its this fair value gap? But mind you have a huge one down here. Unless you're building bullish divergence, I don't see a reason for this to hold. No, you're not. So yeah, I think it's just gonna probably break down. You might get a quick little bounce out of this, but I think you're just gonna break down to the 1090, 1073 range. If you want a specific target, we can look at specifics. Oh yeah, okay. So you see how this volume profile once again is all skewed to the upside. So you're coming down to this value area low. Once again, these coins, you want to see a follow-through candle, so this is a correct retest. This is technically a correct retest as well. So you just have to get a follow-through candle out of this value or low, and after that, then you're going to be looking for this fair value gap to fill. We can take our Fibonacci levels and see what is there. And the 786, like a lot of other coins recently, is right there as well. So coming down to fill this completely fair value gap completely isn't unexpected. You also have a pretty major Fibonacci level there, so that should be a good take profit level for a short and potential open long. Yeah, tight stop, just gamble. Yeah, counter trading those notifications are fun, but they aren't always that accurate. Any other coins? I'll give them. Can you explain how you take your volume profile, like from which swing high to swing low? Sure. I have a whole video on the fixed range volume profile, but if you're still confused about that, if I did not explain it too well, I apologize. So what I like to do, I think this just comes down to how I look at what is a range. I don't think, because I take my volume profile and my Fibonacci levels based off of the same swing high and swing low when I'm looking at a range, so I want to make it clear about that. So I think it's just more or less how I look at ranges than how whether or not I take my volume profile from here to here. So the way I look at a range is it's fairly easier in higher term time frames, right? When you're looking at this, something like this is easy to see. Okay, this is just swing high, this is just swing low, and you're staying in the middle of the two. As simple as that, and I don't think a lot of people have too much of a problem with that. What people have a problem with is coming down to the 1 hour time frame and establishing where is your current mini range, because you can scroll back and be like, well, this could be your swing high and this could be your swing low, etc., etc., etc. So what I like to do is I like to have I know you already did a video, but I still got this question. I'm just gonna answer. Just some people may not know, or I didn't know if you knew, but so explaining how I look at a specific range, I have a bit of recency bias. So the most recent price action to me is the most important, right? I think everyone can kind of attest to that. When you have a daily level, right, something like along those lines, when you have a daily level from right around here, you're more likely to hold that one. If you had a daily level from all the way in like 2018 and it's like slightly higher, you're going to take the one that just happened, right? And that's going to most likely hold the support. So that just kind of makes sense. There's fresher liquidity there. There's more liquidity in that area just because it just happened. So that's why I like to have recency bias. So when I'm looking for a range on something as small as this, I want to see where is there work to still do, and then what 2 pivot points are in between that. So recency bias, is there a lot of work to do between this swing low and this swing high? Not really. You already filled this fair value gap, right? There's not a lot of work to do between these two. Is there a lot of work to do between this swing low and this swing high? Yes, you have this big fair value gap down here. Notable fair value gap, right? At least on the 1 hour, it's fairly large, right? It's not just like little, it's notable. So you have notable work to do down here. So that's how I like to look and define a range on that small time frame. And then it's like, okay, well this is from this swing low to this swing high, right? You can just kind of see it. And this is your swing low, this is your swing high, and then I pulled my volume profile, and then I pulled my fibs. So hopefully that's helpful. You can say it's not helpful, and then I can try to explain it another way. But I look for ranges based off of recency bias, and then I look for where is there the most work to do. Okay, here are your 2 points that this work is in between. So like if I came to the chart yesterday without filling this fair value gap, I would have came yesterday and said, okay, this is your swing low, this is your swing high. Let's pull our fibs, and we can also just pull volume profile, and you can see that we're probably got a decent trade out of it. Yeah, so you broke out of your volume fair value low. Where's your next support level? 786. That was also the bottom of this fair value gap. Okay, so let's maybe take a long position, take a profit at the value area low, take a profit at the point of control. If you reject the point of control, then we'll come back and retest this range low, right? And so, after we fill this fair value gap, take this, retest this point of control. Now it's like, all right, are we just going to stay in this range, or are we going to break out of this range? And if we break out of this range, where's the next area of like interest? Where is there the most work to do? And the most work to do happens just to be like really far away right down here. Yeah, I completely get it now. Cool. So with ETH from July 26th. Excuse me. Let's go down to shorter time frames. These charts are getting messy. From ETH from July 26th. Okay. So so you're taking this as your July 26th. Whoa. Yeah, I was in June. I was like, really? Right here. Yes, that's exactly what I did. Yeah, July 26th right here. It's just swing low, swing high. Let's go after 1 hour. Swing low, swing high. Where's your most work to do? Down here, right? Or sorry, recency bias. Where's your most work to do? This is, you have to fill this gap. So what does it contain by this notable swing low and this notable swing high? Right? It's just kind of visually see that there. Or August 2nd. Okay, why would you say August 2nd? August 2nd's right here. So we did play this little range. Went over this on the 50-minute chart. So once again, this just comes back to what time frame are using. Like I did use August 2nd as just my swing low when I was talking about short-term time frames. But I'm looking at the 1 hour, and I want to have a little bit more data. I want to look for fair value gaps and things of that nature on the 1 hour. Right? I'm not going to look for little tiny things on the 1 hour. On the 15-minute, they'll be bigger because you're just looking at it zoomed in. But where's there just normal work to do on the 1 hour right here? So on the 1 hour time frame, I'm trading that. I'm going to be taking this pivot. If I'm trading the 15-minute chart, then yes, I did take this August 2nd as my swing low. Does that make sense, Post? There's a bit of a delay between the chats, so I will wait. If we come over to the daily, right, am I going to be taking this little range am I going to consider this the range or even this the range? No, I'm going to be considering this swing high and this swing low as the range, right? Why? Especially before we had this move up. Why? Because you had so much work to do within these candles. You have so many fair value gaps within these candles that it would be fairly... Well, one because this isn't a range. This becomes a trend at some point. But also, like, once you break out. But also just because you have so much work to do within these candles that you're gonna look for your nearest swing low to swing high, where the most work is in between. Yeah, thanks. Cool. All right. Any other questions? Coins you guys want me to look at? Stocks you want me to look at? Anything with the chart you want me to look at? How's gold doing? I'll just take a look at gold for fun while I wait for people to type in the chat. Fill this wick. Nice. Yep. So, gold, we're in a big macro range from August 2020 to now. And I marked this out a few weeks. I don't even know. It's probably months ago at this point. Just filling the wick. Where's the wick? Fill the wick. Boom to the T. Pump back up. Got back above our value area high. Now we're going to retest this point of control. So gold's not looking too bad. Gold's looking actually pretty good. Pretty good. Is our volume profile skewed to either way? Yeah, we're skewed to the downside, so as long as we get above back this point of control, I don't see why we continue upwards and onwards. Alright, if there's no other questions, I will leave you now. There is a link to a Discord server in the description that me and Crypto Bum run. There's a lot of good traders in there. You know, if you have any questions, want to go over anything, it's completely free. Just come hang out. If you don't like it, you can always leave. No problem with that. Also, if you trade on Bybit, so leverage crypto trading platform, I think it's the best. It never goes down. Never locks you out like other exchanges. Links in the description for 30% off all your fees, maker and takers. You can save some money with that. They also have like sign-up bonuses and everything. But those dollar amounts are changing all the time, so I can never keep up with it. It's like 3,000, 4,000, 1,000. I don't know what it is this week, but links in the description below for that. And also, I joined an NFT Discord. I'm not trying to like show you buying NFTs. Don't do that. But if you want to learn how they work and everything, then there's a really good Discord server and link in the description for that. I joined it. I asked the mods and moderators how this all works, because I'm only into like the trading part of crypto, and I think most of us are. So learning about a different sector of the same industry is kind of cool. I don't know, it's just cool. Didn't make any money or anything like that. It's just cool. So links in the description for that. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you around. Thank you all for joining.